my gosh. What's this in my garage? Get this Ford stuff out of here. Alright guys, welcome to part 6 of our Revive and Drive Project Sally series. We want to invite you to check out the prior videos if you hadn't. In this video we're going to be tying up a lot of loose ends, hopefully getting the front bumper mocked up and getting it ready for paint. Stick around. So one of the things that we hope to get accomplished in this video, you guys heard this auxiliary horn. Miss Sammy got that for Christmas. It's got 4 different presets of horse noises. So we got to permanently mount that. Also, the original horn was damaged. So we've got a replacement horn to install. In our last video, we was able to get our condenser, radiator, and fan, antifreeze, and all that good stuff buttoned up. Off camera, we went ahead and put a new washer reservoir in. So we need to get some fluid for that. We also hope to get the steering wheel buttoned up. We've got a few parts on order. So we'll get all the controls in, get the bezels on, and then we can get the airbag in. As you can see, we've got our driver's seat in. All right, test her out. So we just put the driver's seat in Sally, and it's already pre-wired from the factory for power seats, even though this car was a manual. Now over there on the passenger side, we will have to figure out the wiring on it. See if it slides back and forth, Sam. There it is. Alright guys, so this is the plug for the passenger side seat. And as you can see, there's no power or ground provisions for that. So we'll have to figure that out. And the fuse is under the hood. And I got a feeling that our power is sitting here in one of these plugs. I just got to figure out where we need to tap into it at. Once we know about it, we'll bring you guys along and show you what we had to do, and we'll get the seat put in. So when the wreck happened, all of the rubber and the plastic here in the front end got destroyed. We've got new pieces. It's been a long time since we took these off, so we got to figure out where they go and get them installed. We've got new Ford pieces to go in as our replacements. Don't remember taking these off? Mm-mm. This is one of the very first parts we took off the car. So here's this piece. And it just a deflector, an air deflector. We still got to put our push pins in here and here.
There's definitely red paint on it.
Yeah, this car's been repainted.
But if it was repainted, how is the Mustang stickers on there so perfectly?
Yeah, they may have taped them or something. Alright, so now I've got a feeling that this one
looks about right.
Okay. So you can see the importance of a digital photo, because it's been months since we actually took these off the car. Here's a first look of the rubber ductwork pieces here, and we only got 3 of the push pins, so we're going to have to order one, but Sam's going to go ahead and get that installed.
And I just push them through?
Yeah, just push them all the way in. Probably be pretty tough.
That one is pretty tough.
We'll go.
One side of it went. No.
All right, let me see what you got. There it is, yep. So our original horn was destroyed, and we've ordered a replacement off of eBay. But something that I just noticed, our connector is also damaged. So I'm gonna have to look for a new connector. Sam's gonna go ahead and install our horn, and that way we've at least got it on the car. Now see if it'll straighten up a little bit, or if that's the way it goes. The horns, see, before you tighten it down, it might be the way they fit on there.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't know. It probably does. It probably goes the way you had it, I guess.
Yeah, I think it just goes like that.
Okay.
It's about pretty tight.
Feel pretty good about it?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, there's a new set of horns on the car. Or actually a new set of used horns. So today's kind of one step forward, two steps back. If you remember when we disassembled the car, our headlight bolt and threads was messed up. We've been working on that. It's a M6x1, the best I can tell. As far as my tap and die, my thread chasers, everything that I have here is standard, so we will have to look for a metric set later on and revisit this section. We're going to go ahead and get the original headlights mounted to the car, so at least we can go ahead and mock up our front bumper. So don't worry about the wires or nothing, just go ahead and
Bolt it in there.
yeah, bolt it up in there. Yeah, we have to make sure we don't cross thread it. Those are so easy to cross thread. Alright, where's your 8mm socket at?
Right there.
Don't tighten it all the way down yet.
You want me to tighten it though? Because I just finger screwed them in. Where did that go?
All the way down in there, hang on. So I just dropped the 8mm socket down in the radiator. You get it?
Yeah.
Alright. There you go.
It's getting tight right there.
Yeah, I think you're good. So go ahead and snug that up. Don't tighten it all the way. Go back to your 10.
Okay.
You're unloosening it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, these need a good old cleaning, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna sell them?
I don't know.
We probably shouldn't sell them.
It's up to you.
We can try.
Alright, so we got new bumper mounts. The original ones were damaged during the accident. And Sam's getting ready to put these in right now. Well, this piece here is you'll have to push it in this hole here.
Okay.
And then the 2 bolts. Like I said, these headlights aren't the ones we're going to use, but we haven't bought the new ones yet. So they'll do for mock-up. What do you mean?
I might need that.
The ratchet?
I might need that ratchet.
You can take that extension off of it if you want.
Okay. Oh. That's if you think.
So this is a reproduction bumper, and hopefully it's okay. We're going to go ahead and we've got our marker lenses and we've got these block off covers. We're going to go ahead and install those. We don't have the grills yet. That's something. Yeah, that's something we got to do. But we want to go ahead and try to test fit it. We've also got our impact bar that we've got to get on the car.
Test
so
fit our
let's
marker
get
lights.
that.
And we've got these speed nuts on the back of them. End up ordering these directly from Ford because I went down to the local parts store and got these like you would normally get for the Camaro, but they were something about it was different. I don't know if it's metric or standard, but they just wouldn't work. So I ended up buying the Ford ones, and now we're going to test fit them. Just want to kind of snug them for now. Really a big fan of these speed nuts, but I mean, I get why they use them. I'm just not a big fan of them. I'll try to do it without the ratchet.
This one's tighter.
Huh?
That one's tighter than that one.
Yeah. That was a used part.
Which one?
That one over there.
It looks new.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tighten it up too much more. That's good enough. So there's that. You want to do the block off plates? So Miss Sammy is going to install the block off plates.
You just pop them in there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like it.
looks like that the back will just, hold on a second.
Is this the wrong side?
No,
There it is.
no, I thought it would go like this. And then they would just, is that not right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, maybe it is the wrong side. So come over here. Wait a minute, let me see something here.
That looks better.
Okay.
You want to see something? What you want to?
Now if it lines up. Did it lock?
Hang on. It's not.
Ooh.
You got more force than I do.
Yeah, let me see. Step back here a minute. I'm gonna let you film. I don't want to get that thing locked in there and we can't get it out. Let's see something here. That's the left side of the car, but it looks like an R to me, but it has to go that way.
That just looks like scribble. It does look like an R though. It looks like it fits right there. It's just not going through that little hole.
Yeah, you're right.
That one has writing on the back. That's an L.
It says RH.
So that's right hand.
That's the right hand side. So yeah, it's the right side.
Are we missing something?
There it is.
There it goes.
There she is. Question is, will she come out?
Oh man. I need
The
a little
secret,
pull for that one.
the secret, I had to push the clips.
That's what I was trying to do, but I couldn't get my finger.
Well, this one don't look good.
Yeah. It's being complicated.
Tell you what, let's look here. Look at this cutout. Get a good shot of that cutout. And that's what we're trying to look at. Let's go out and look at the original bumper and see what that looks like at the original one.
Can we cut it?
Oh, you know what, Sam?
What? Is it bent?
Yeah, these are bent.
Bent sideways? If we heat them up, we could. angle them the way we want.
Yeah, they were bent.
We'll put them in the sun.
That's why they ain't not going.
You want to heat them?
They'll go. There they are. There they are. We'll have to be careful with those.
Look at that, boys.
They were bent like they were like that when I brought them out of the package, though. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these will come out. They don't want to come out very easily.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. They're not technically. I mean, I guess they are supposed to come out if you want fog lights.
One loose deal, maybe.
We'll just have to take them out as minimum times as possible.
Yeah, that's it. There's none that fit. So right here on our impact bar, just went ahead and put some wire ties around it. That way we wouldn't have to pretty much destroy our new push pins that we bought for it. I'm hoping we got enough clearance that the wire ties won't affect nothing. But we're about ready to find out.
Watch for cars. It runs out in front of the car.
Going over?
Does it go over the headlights or under the headlights?
It goes over.
But this isn't coming up because this isn't happening.
Yeah. What's holding us up? You see what's holding us?
No. Something doesn't want to come up.
I don't like these.
Oh, I see.
What?
Hang on. This headlight.
I don't like this piece over here for sure.
Dad, this headlight.
What is it?
It's bugging.
Yeah, but that ain't that bad.
It's not wanting it to go.
Let me see, streaming places.
What piece does it look like? This has to go through it.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. Right?
No.
Then where does that go? Does it sit like this?
There we go. All right, hang on.
It's pretty stuck.
All right, what you got? All right, not too bad looking. We did run into a few issues. So it's fitting pretty good around the headlight and around this fender. There's none of the bottom pieces in. So once all this gets pulled in right, and I believe this is going to line up a little bit better right here. And this is the good side. These are those aftermarket bumper retainers that we put on. We had one Ford OEM one, and on both sides we never could get the bumper to fit in the latch. It was just fighting us. So I ended up taking this right side off, putting the Ford one back on, and we was able to get this side in, and everything looks good. This other side, we've got the aftermarket one on, and it just will not latch. So also
The headlight on this,
Yeah, we may have 2 different headlights on there.
yeah, we've got 2 different headlights, like Sam said, but we're having trouble with, the headlight's actually part of the bumper mounting system, because without this piece, this whole area is just going to flop loose. So we took another headlight that we had. It's also busted, but we put a big washer on it to give it some stability. And that's about where we're at. We're going to order another Ford OEM piece here and see if we can't get this thing to fit. We set the grill in it, but it's not locked in it. We just kind of pushed it up just to get an idea. And everything's looking pretty decent. Sammy, you want to shut the hood for him? We were a little worried about this gap here, but I believe once we get all the plastic pieces in place, it's not bad. I see all kinds of gaps on these Mustangs since I've been looking at them.
And that looks like a really good one compared.
Yeah. Like I said, once we get the plastic upper piece in with the push pins, I believe it's going to line up really good. But this part here has us worried.
It just won't snap.
It just won't snap, and we're just not sure yet. So we're going to order the 4-piece and see what that does. We have taken this piece off and snapped it in, and we can get it snapped in when it's not bolted to the car, but when it's bolted to the car, it just will not snap. So we're kind of at a standstill with this for now. We'll let you know what we make out with it. So we'll get some parts on order. We'll let you know how it goes. If you're liking this project, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button and maybe even share it for us. All right, guys, welcome back. It's a few days later, and the last time we were out here working on Project Sally with the front bumper, we got our butts kicked. But we ordered a few parts and we've made some major progress, and we want to show you what we've accomplished, and we also want to show you what was holding us back. All right, so we had one original piece on the passenger side that was good. It was still the OEM Ford piece, and I needed to order one for the driver's side because the original one was busted. So when I looked online, I could buy a set of 2. They were aftermarket, so I took a chance with it. And this piece right here, where the bumper attaches to, there's not enough space in there that the bumper can actually lock in. It was too tight. And if you look right here on this card, on this credit card, you can see how that right there bends the card. Well, when we got the original one in, it fit really loose. So we ended up having to reuse the original OEM passenger side, and we ordered the new OEM driver side. We have had a lot of problems with aftermarket parts for this Mustang, which is kind of upsetting because this car is a 2010. I mean, I deal with the same stuff on my Camaros, but it doesn't seem to be as bad. And the Camaros that I'm working on, 72, it's almost 50 years old. The 81's right at 40 years old, so I don't understand it. But luckily enough for Project Sally, this car is still new enough you can still get OEM parts. So at first glance, everything looks like it fits really well. We don't have the grill pushed all the way up in there. And we've got the old original headlights. But as of right now, everything seems to be working with the body lines, with the fender and the bumper. This area right here give us the most trouble, just trying to get it all fitted. And we're still trying to let this bumper build up some memory. This will have to be pulled out just a touch. And one thing too that Sam and I both noticed, the headlights on these cars actually support the whole top of the front bumper. And you can tell right here, this headlight was broken, and we kind of just got it mocked up so that we could mock up the front bumper. So we are going to be buying a new set of headlamps for this car. But overall, we're really pleased with the way it's turning out. So tonight we thought we'd tackle the project that we've really been looking forward to, and that is finishing up our steering wheel. We finally got all our components in. We got our new airbag. We got the trim pieces for the steering wheel, and we've got our switches. Well, scratch that. Do you guys see what we see? These are all brand new pieces. This piece looks like metallic. This piece looks metallic. This piece looks charcoal gray. I tell you what am I going to do with this Ford? Are you ready to convert to a Camaro yet? Oh my gosh. So, looks like we're going to try to order another one of these. This is brand new. This is the package that come in. I'm going to have to do some research and see why in the world we have a variation. So we just held these up in the car just to see which ones we actually like better. And we didn't have no idea there was two variations with these. Like I said, two of them are kind of silver and one of them is like a charcoal gray. The charcoal gray actually goes better with this car. It matches the dash and the console and the radio area a little bit better. And that'd be the one on the left. But we already got two of them, so most likely we're going to try to find a silver one for the left side. Some more troubles, but stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're working on the Mustang this evening and we're doing some wiring. We've already put the driver's seat in, and this car was actually wired already for power seats on the driver's side only. The passenger side was not wired for power seats on this car, but I'll show you what we're doing. So originally I was just going to get one of these plugs out of a factory power seat car, but these things are really expensive. Like maybe the cheapest I could find was about 60 bucks. So we got lucky on this car here. The fuse block actually had fuses for the driver's side and passenger side seats, and we've got the passenger side pulled, and we tried to find the load pin going into the car, and we were successful at doing that. What we did, we took an alligator clip, just tied it to a part of an old speaker wire just so we could extend our leads. And what we found out was that plug there, the small gray one, you can see the electrical tape, and the small white piece of heat shrink right here, and that was a white wire with a red stripe, and we found their continuity from the fuse block to that pin there, and then there's no other pin in the back there. It's just blank. So my first thoughts was I'd just go get another connector out of a wrecked car, but I decided just to go ahead and cut the wire. I cut the white wire with the red stripe, and I've added my own wiring to it, and I've got a power wire and a ground wire in this corrugated plastic piece of conduit. I picked the ground up right here where the factory ground is, and it comes right down, and then we ran that corrugated pipe along with the factory harness. And basically it comes out right where the seat wiring comes. And we bought this plug off of eBay. It's fairly cheap. I can't remember how much, but I think it was under $15, and it's got the female part to it as well. And we're going to mate that to the seat, and hopefully all these other wires are the same. That's one thing we got to double check. I'm not sure on that yet. But anyway, we're going to get our plastic pieces on. And this gets 12 volts from the fuse block into our seat. And that's
we just wanted to show you how we achieved that.
All right, guys, we're working on the seat. As you remember, this car is a base Mustang, and we're putting power seats in it. One of the things that we've done here, instead of buying the mating plug, because they're rather expensive, we've put our own plug on it. And if you remember, when we ran our power, we found out that our 12 volt positive was coming into a plug under the passenger side kick panel on the white wire with the red tracer. And that was on the plug here. So what I've ended up doing, I've ended up cutting just a little bit off, which I'm gonna have to reshrink that. It didn't shrink down. I'm gonna have to reshrink this piece, but I've ended up cutting it, leaving a little bit in case we ever want to put this back original. And then we've added our own plug. The white with the red tracer is our 12 volt positive. Our ground is our black with the yellow tracer. And that one did stick. So I will have to reshrink that. One of the other things that I was worried about, you've got all these other wires, and I was worried of whether or not they were the same. But when we compare them to the other seat, which is the base seat, everything is the same as far as the pins that are installed and the pins that are missing, plus the colors match up in their respective location. So that I feel pretty good that this seat is exactly wired the same as this seat. And I got a feeling all this extra wiring here, all this is seat belt warning stuff, and maybe the pressure sensor for the airbag or something like that. That's what we're guessing. The only wire that we're not using here, which is this gray with the blue stripe, I believe that's for our heated seats. And we're not putting the heat back into this. We may at some point, but for now we're not. We'll get some tape on this, get this put back, and we'll get it in the car and test it. We have tested just powering these two wires up with the seat sitting down here, and it does work. So we know we've got power going to the right locations. You get it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah, I can. What was that noise?
Almost hit it. Alright, let's see. Oh, you know what? There it is.
Did you hook it up?
No, not yet.
Yeah, right there on the money.
So, I'll tell you what, let's fold this back here, raise it up.
Well, that's a good idea.
Alright,
May have left that a little too long, but we'll address it if we got to put a little wire tie or something on it. You know what they say about wiring, don't you? You can always cut it, but you ain't gonna stretch it. Alright, that clicked in. Alright guys, we're gonna test this seat out, see if it works. We got the battery hooked up, and hopefully everything is good to go. Now that part's not power.
I know. It just felt weird.
It's pretty far back.
I'm trying to make it even.
Yay!
It shakes a little bit. But yeah. The shake's going back. You see it? Going up's fine, but
It's pivoting.
it's like
It's
the
doing
Buick.
this.
Yeah, it's like the Buick. It doesn't raise. It just raises one side.
Yeah. Cool. Alright. Power seats and a base Mustang.
So I told you this was going to be a mixed bag of stuff in this video. I mentioned we had the washer reservoir installed on the car now, but we forgot to ever fill it. So, we got some washer fluid. We're gonna fill that up and hopefully we won't have any leaks. I was trying to get all of it in there.
Oh, it ain't gonna take all that.
Look at the air coming up out of it. See it?
Yeah.
There it is. Not quite a perfect pour.
Just about.
So when Sammy was little, we had this thing at the supper table where I'd take a 2 liter of Coca-Cola, fill my glass. I like to fill it all the way to the very rim without it going over. And I like for it to be quick. And that way I called it a perfect pour. And we've had several accidents at the table trying to replicate that perfect pour. So there's that.
We still do that.
So we did take a little bit out of this instead of filling it all the way up because we noticed it is right next to the computer and the fuse blocks. Nice going, Ford. You really thought this out. So guys, we went to do this a few days ago. We noticed we had one brushed chrome insert and the other 2 were chrome. And you know, I guess Ford gives you different options and we wasn't really sure which one we were going to use. I almost felt like I was at the plumbing section in the hardware department trying to figure all this out. But we got to looking on eBay and there is several options for these steering wheels. And then we come across a couple different parts for the bottom and we wasn't really sure which one was right, whether we had the right one. So Sam and I come out here and just tried to test fit it. We hadn't really made our mind up, but when we put this chrome piece in, it kind of locked in place. And with all the parts being new, once we tried to remove it, it was very difficult. We were afraid we were going to tear up something. So we was like, well, we've got the other chrome piece, we just need one more. And that kind of made our decision for us. Take 2 on the steering wheel install. So we went ahead and we ordered the correct piece. So now we have matching chrome inserts for the steering wheel. We've also got new switches and we've got our new airbag along with the reattachment hardwire. Push your front in first. You'll feel it start to go. Feel it?
Yeah.
Or part of it, seat.
Huh?
I heard it, seat. That's it.
Is it gapped right there?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
And you slide it?
I think it goes in from the top. It should lock in.
There we go.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for the next side? There it is. All right, so now it's time for the airbag. All right, so here we go with the airbag. And Sam's gonna go ahead and connect it up. It's actually color coded for a gray plug and a black plug. So, do you need me to hold it while you plug it up? Alright, now it should just fold in there like we talked about.
One's two.
See something here.
Well, that's weird, ain't it?
It looks like one needs to come out a little more.
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah. Okay, so it just took a little bit of force. Went ahead and put a little piece of tape on the end of our screw, because the last thing I want is this thing falling off and falling down into the steering column. You can use grease to hold stuff like that, but I don't want all that inside this column, so we're using tape. And to get this on here, it just took a little bit of force and then it snapped over place. There's a spring in there for the horn, and that's why it's giving that little bit of movement. So I'm just going to start this first, and then I'm going to grab the other screw and we'll start it. The biggest thing is just not cross threading it and making sure that it's in there. And then when I pull it, the tape comes off with it. Alright, and then there should be 2 plastic plugs for covers. It looks good.
No! My job.
So, the moment that Miss Sam has been waiting for. She's wanting to pull that plastic off. Look at that. Does it look good?
It looks so pretty. I'm
I
just
think-
never gonna hop my horn, so I never have to put fingerprints on.
I think the chrome looks good.
I think it looks good.
Like I said, we had a tough decision. We was going to go with the brushed, but we got that centerpiece stuck on there, and we just decided, you know what, the chrome will work. It's not that we couldn't get it off, we just didn't want to take a chance in damaging nothing. And as hard as those things stuck in there with the new parts, we just figured we were going to tear something up. And the last thing we wanted to do was tear up that steering wheel, and it was just such a minute difference anyway. It just wasn't worth the aggravation. Our next task is finish up our horn so we can test our steering wheel. And if you remember, during the accident, the original horn plug was damaged. I have bought a replacement, and it's just a matter of getting it wired up, color to color here. The green will go to this one, and then the yellow with the red stripe will go to this one. And we're not quite ready to take this bumper off yet because we've still got some more test fitting to do. So I'm going to be working through the wheel well here, and we're going to solder and heat shrink these wires, and I'll bring you back and show you the end result. Here's the look at the new horn connector soldered in place. It's got heat shrink on it and a little bit of electrical tape, and it's in the corrugated pipe. Now I'll probably dress this up a little bit better once we get the bumper off of it, but it's just hard to work right here in this wheel well. But we want to go ahead and get this plugged up to the horn so we can go ahead and test our steering wheel. We're going to test 2 horns. We've got our horse horn that we now have mounted here, and actually turned out to be a really good place for it. And we're also going to be testing the factory horn with the new steering wheel. You ready?
No.
Okay, that
Yep,
works.
it works.
So now, do you remember if you hit the key fob if the horn chirped?
Yeah, if you lock it. Well, it does it occasionally. Sometimes it'll do it twice, sometimes it'll do it once.
Hey.
That's a good sign. Do it again.
Try the horn.
Oh, God.
I think it's all right for now.
I think the...
That must be something to do with security, that blinking.
Yeah, I don't
red
think it's a
light.
problem.
So we got a working horn. So Sam and I are kind of nervous about these airbags because they're new to us. You know, the cars we normally work on here don't have airbags. So we're just hoping that they just don't randomly explode since we've replaced them. So tying up a lot of loose ends here in part 6. We got the front bumper on. We got it test fitted. We still need some parts, but we're working on that. How about this interior? It really came together here in part 6. Next video will be hopefully getting the driver's side fender repaired, getting it ready for paint, maybe even getting it painted, and maybe even getting the front bumper painted. And then will be final assembly. If you hadn't checked out the other videos, we want to invite you to do that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave us a comment, and let us know what you think of this project. With all that said, we'll catch you next time. Thank you, guys.